there are a few different types of people in this world. There are leaders and there are followers. But there are a couple more levels above that when it comes to this fake reality that we live in. The perception of who's a leader and who's a follower is handed down by those that are in control of your perception of reality, those that are in control of the media. They have made it their mission to hijack humanity, and they've done a very good job at doing so. These videos that I'm producing are a series that I hope will enlighten you, provide you with answers, and also some solutions to how you can fight back this power structure that is overbearing and willing to erode away at your civil liberties as much as you allow it. The following clip I want you to watch, and afterwards I'm going to explain to you exactly what's going on that you might not have realized.
Let me just mention briefly one threat in particular that should concern all Americans, Democrats, Republicans, and independents alike, especially those who serve in our Congress. The epidemic of malicious fake news and false propaganda that flooded social media over the past year. It's now clear that so-called fake news can have real-world consequences. This isn't about politics or partisanship. Lives are at risk, lives of ordinary people just trying to go about their days, to do their jobs, contribute to their communities. It's a danger that must be addressed, and addressed quickly. Bipartisan legislation is making its way through Congress to boost the government's response to foreign propaganda, and Silicon Valley is starting to grapple with the challenge and threat of fake news. It's imperative that leaders in both the private sector and the public sector step up to protect our democracy and innocent lives.
As you're aware, most of my work stems from exposing these frauds, these actors that are producing these fake events and fake news that she's referring to. Of course, we know that she is part of this family that is producing these fake, fictitious events. So the question's asked to me, Ed, how come she's saying this? Doesn't this contradict what you say about a corporation and having their best interest into preserving that corporation's existence and not telling on themselves? Good question. So let me try to explain something to you, what you're seeing happening here. This may or may not have been their initial plans for the use of the fake news, but as we know from past experience, the mainstream media never has just one goal in mind. There's always a multi-pronged effect and a multi-pronged results that they want, all of them being within their acceptable guidelines. People have asked me, Ed, how come I'm able to expose these families and call them out? Don't they want to get found out? It seems like they are acting in a way that it's so absurd, so obvious that they must want to get found out. Second question, that's very good. Let me answer them both together in a moment. You'll notice that my work is the only one out there that is naming names, pointing fingers at direct individuals, trying to hold them accountable. Unlike my opposition, who just says, oh, crisis actors. That's all it is. They're just actors. It's fake news. It's fake this. It's fake that. Okay, great. Fake news, crisis actor, which is a bullshit term that they've created anyway because it's just an actor. But, okay, take it to the next step. Who are those actors that are involved in these? Who are producing these? Who is supplying the money to budget these productions? Who gains from these productions? Who's publishing these productions? And the distribution networks owners, who are they? These are questions that I go after. I point out who they are. I point out the Greenbergs. I point out the fake families, the fake names that they're using, and find the actors who are responsible for those events and calling them out so you know their faces, you know their fake names, and you know what to avoid when it comes to believing their bullshit. Now, to answer your questions, how come they're doing this? Doesn't this contradict the corporate charter that I've been speaking about so much in the past 6 years? No, it does not conflict with their corporate charter. Why? Because what you're seeing happening in front of you with this actor being told, here's a script, read this, calling attention to the fake news, what they're doing is trying to stoke the fires in the public. They want you to start screaming, fake news, this is all fake news, it's fake, fake, fake. And they want you to do the same thing that their agents are doing by just calling attention to it and demanding you want something to fix this problem. Here's the results that you will get if you're not careful. You will find yourself eliminating your ability to have free speech, or they will crack down on free speech. Well, how do you fix fake news? You can't. You can't fix it. They're free to act. They're free to say what they want. They're free to publish what they want. That's your constitutional rights. So they're hoping that you will make so much noise and so much problems for them that they'll play the role of, oh, well, Congress is going to have to enact some laws to curb your freedom of speech. Well, you, of course, have to give up some of your rights in order to be safe, right? That's what they're going to do. So you'll find yourself left with simply a government-funded media, which, of course, they are right now. It's a military-owned media, feeding you the same bullshit and claiming, oh, well, see, we're approved by so-and-so, so therefore our news isn't fake. See, look, we're right here with them, so it's got to be real. This is all real. No, it's not. It's the same old, what I've been saying since day one. The old world order, which is the same world order that has always been, always will be, doesn't want change. But they want you to think that there's change coming. They want you to believe that there's change. The corporations that they own, the mainstream media, the alternative media, their objective is to feed you and control you with their fake information, keeping you in fear, keeping you always running around in circles, chasing your tail, infighting with each other so you don't get a one unified voice and go after these individuals personally. That's their corporate charter. Protect their position, protect their corporations, protect their networks and distribution. By her saying this is directly in line with that charter. Calling attention to the fake news so you will react and you will cause laws that will further tie your hands, the public, and make you not be able to speak out, shut you up, is what they want. So understand that these actors are acting in a way, producing these absurd video clips, productions, whatever. They want you to realize that it's fake. They want you to say, fake news, because the results are you losing your freedom of speech. But here's what they don't want. They don't want people like me and people that I'm teaching the tools to go past that fake name calling, fake event calling, and say, okay, we know it's fake. Who are the actors involved? I don't care what their excuse is for why they do it. I could care less. When a police officer arrives to your house after being robbed, do you think the cop asks the burglar, why'd you do it? He doesn't care. Do you think the judge ask the burglar when they're in court, why did you do it? No, they don't care. You could say your dog told you to do it. You could say, I heard voices in my head that told me to do it. Yeah, you probably did, but it doesn't mean what you did was right. Committing the crime, going past that boundary, is what the laws are for. Going after these actors for what they do, knowingly to the population, knowingly to humanity, is what you need to focus on. Anyone who tries to tell you, oh, it's the Illuminati, it's the Vatican, it's the Jews, it's the whatever, those individuals are one of two things or both. Stupid and don't realize what they're saying is just asinine. Or secondly, they are part of the problem and they know exactly what they're saying, because that is just attracting people who are easily peeled off from the mainstream and separated and isolated, dividing and conquering. You can't sue the Jews. You can't sue the Vatican. You can't sue the Illuminati. You can sue individuals that make up those groups. That's what you need to focus on. So anybody that says, oh, it's this group or it's that group, it's the blacks, it's the whites, it's whatever, are just trying to stir you up and get you to act a fool and get you in trouble. Make sure you know this when these people are trying to pull your heartstrings. Make sure you let them know that you're not going to be manipulated and that you know the underlying cause, and you will go after individuals that cross that line and violate your personal property, cause damage to you, and you will sue them. Exercise your rights and exercise them often, because you know what happens when you don't exercise. You lose that muscle mass. You become weak. And that's what will happen unless you step up to the plate and hold these people accountable and send a message to the corporations that are funding them that this will not be tolerated.